But given the amount of traffic on Twitter on this at the moment, I think let's for once and for all put this issue to rest. Could you ask why in 2008, when Home Secretary, the Home Office issued a circular to all police forces telling them not to get involved with sexual exploitation allegations by young girls, as they'd made an informed choice about their sexual behaviour? Source, Nazir Afzal on Radio 4 on the 19th of October 2018. Before you give your answer, as far as I know, Nazir Afzal has never produced this circular. It's all done on hearsay. Now, whether there was a circular or not, did you have anything to do with it?
Well, Ian, as we have said on numerous previous occasions, and I doubt any of those people throwing shit at me on Twitter will actually be listening to the podcast, I don't know whether a circular was issued. I have never seen the circular, either when I was Home Secretary or since then, and I wholly disagree with the suggestion that it makes that somehow or another girls who are effectively being raped by adults are making an informed choice. I didn't think it then, so I wouldn't have cleared a circular that said it, and I don't think it now, and I didn't issue it, and nor did Gordon Brown.
And is it possible that there was a circular that was issued by the Home Office that you didn't know about?
It's highly possible. The Home Office issues lots of circulars. Usually to the police, they would have been issued by what was then the Association of Chief Police Officers or the National Police College or something like that. But, you know, this is a department that issues guidance and regulations to the police, the majority of which will not be cleared by ministers. Because I have to say, I think if that had come near to any minister, they would not have let it go out if we assume it exists. And as you say, I've never seen it, so I don't know if it does.
I'm not accusing Nazir Afzal of lying. Clearly he thinks that something was sent out to this effect. But if it was, why has nobody been able to produce it? Why has nobody put in a Freedom of Information request to the Home Office asking for it? And why hasn't it ever appeared? Because I would have thought that if this sort of thing had been issued at that time, somebody in receipt of it would have leaked it.
What I think Nazir Afzal what was justified about what he said is that I think part of the problem with addressing what we now might call grooming gangs was that there was an attitude amongst the police to a certain extent that there might be some element of free choice that children, young girls, were making in terms of having sex with older men. I think there was a touch of that attitude that meant that they didn't immediately see those girls as victims. They didn't protect them in the way in which they should have done. And since that time, that has really been cleared out of the police force, and people are completely clear that, I think, well, those people who have to deal with them are completely clear that they are victims and they need to be treated as such. And of course, we've seen a lot of prosecutions of these cases. So I think that, you know, if that's what he was saying, that is a legitimate concern from, let's say, 10, 12 years ago. So, of course, let's just remember, though, why this has come up on Twitter. This has come up on Twitter because this week Tommy Robinson has been found guilty of contempt of court for nearly destroying a case that was being made against those grooming gangs. So in order to promote his horrible, bigoted political position, Tommy Robinson has decided to alight on this issue, not because he's interested in what happens to children, but because he sees this as a way to support his Islamophobic views about Muslims. Because, to be fair, quite a few of the convictions that have been made have been against people of Pakistani origin or Muslim background. That's why this has come back onto Twitter again, because his supporters are trying to divert away from the fact that Tommy Robinson, with his grandstanding, nearly destroyed the actual prosecutions of the people that they claim to be so bothered about.
So for the avoidance of doubt, you did not issue a circular yourself. You knew nothing about any such circular, and had you seen such a circular, you would have vetoed it.
That is exactly the situation, Ian, yes.
Well, I hope people take that on board, because